I don't do this. I don't make videos asking people for nothing. I don't like feeling like I'm begging anybody for anything. But at this point, honestly, I need the help. And I feel like this may be the only help I can honestly get. I am currently behind on my rent by 2 months. I owe almost $1,200. I paid the vast majority of May and still owe. I owe for all of June, and now I'm going to owe for all of July. I came home to eviction notice on my door saying that I have to go to court July 23rd at 9 o'clock, eviction court. I have nowhere to go. It's me, my 4-year-old, and my 3-month-old. I don't want to have to sleep in a car. I'm tired of not being able to be stable. I worked hard to get into my apartment. I was pregnant, big pregnant, working 6 days a week, saving tips every day for a month and a half to get into this apartment. I fell on hard times after I had my baby, and times has got even harder. I am now at almost $1,200 in rent, no money. I'm out of work until next week. I just had surgery, getting my tubes removed, so I can't go back to work until I'm cleared by the doctor. Me going back to work on the 15th, have to go to court on the 23rd. I'm not gonna come up with $1,200 to not get evicted. I need help, y'all. And I was told I may be able to get help. I may not be able to get help. But I'm praying that I am able to get help, because I don't want to lose my apartment. I don't have nowhere for us to go. I don't want to have to sleep in a car. And me being out of work until the 15th, I can't pay for no hotel room every week. Yeah, I barely make $100 a week to pay for a room every week. I'm trying to find a new job. I'm in the process of it, trying to find a new job, which is going to be my main job. And I'm still going to keep my server job as my second job. I have to have 2 incomes coming in. That's the only way I'm going to be able to stay on top. I need help. Please, anybody, help me. I have proof of whatever you need. I don't mind sending it. I don't even mind sending you my number if you want to talk to make sure that I'm not a scam, anything of that nature. I am literally begging for help. Please, anybody, please, if this touches you, if you see this and you want to help, please help me, please, because I don't know what to do at this point. With me having to see this eviction notice on my door, and I'm like, the 23rd is around the corner. Today's the 8th. I'm out of work until the 15th. That's another, 7 days? Another week. I'm out of work. What am I supposed to do? I'm already begging for begging for diapers, because she done ran through almost everything in the past 3 months. Like, I don't like this. I don't. And I honestly don't know what else to do at this point but to beg for help from whoever has listening ears and an open heart, willing to help a single mother out. Please, please. That's all I can do is ask for help. That's it. I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't have no family that's willing to help me, pay anything, give me a place to stay, any of that nature. I don't have no friends that I can go stay with. I don't have nobody. It's literally me. Just me. Me and my kids. My kids is all I got. I'm all they got. I'm all I got at this point. I've begged family. I've begged friends. I had one friend to help me, and that was with my May rent. And she didn't have to do that, but I appreciate her for that. But other than that, I have no help. I have nobody I can call. My mama's dead. My daddy not gonna help me pay my rent. Like, I don't know, y'all. I have nowhere to go. And if I lose this apartment, we literally gonna be sleeping in my car. And I have a 9-to-5 Honda, so we literally gonna be packed in my car, sleeping in the apartment parking lot from what it seemed like. I'm gonna lose all my again. I just don't know. I understand. I really tried. I'm really trying. I am. And I try to go to this class, try to get my rent paid. Every week is something. They're not open for me to even try to participate in the class, to try to get my rent paid. I know tomorrow they're not going to be open because it's pouring down raining. So there's another week that I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait again to next Tuesday. I don't know. I don't. And I'm so confused. And I'm so hurt. And I'm so lost because I worked so hard to get in this apartment. And I've only been in here since January. And here it is July. And I'm already finna get put out. Like, I don't know what to do. But I am going to put my Cash App, my PayPal, hell, even my GoFundMe in the description of this video so I can receive some type of help. And whoever helps, I appreciate you. I thank you so much. Because I'm literally over here stressing, losing my mind because I don't know what to do. I want y'all to see that I'm not lying. You got my eviction paperwork. I want y'all to see my address. But yes, I'm not lying at all. I said I owe almost $1,200. I owe literally $3 off from $1,200. I just wanted to show y'all this to let y'all know that I'm not lying at all. I'm not trying to scam nobody. I'm literally just trying to receive some help.
We're going to detail this note by note. And happy Friday night, everyone. Okay, so I actually wrote the notes in order as they appeared in the bag. First off, so get your tea, because you know how this goes, okay? So the first thing she says is, I don't make videos asking people for things. I will never understand why people say they don't do something at the very moment they're actually doing it. It's kind of like, saying, well, I don't ever cheat on my homework as you're using AI to cheat on your homework. So I think this is something with TikTokers we have gotten very used to. And, at one point I thought I should really just compile a whole bunch of people, TikTokers, the beggars, of course, okay, saying things like, oh, I never come on here. I rarely come on here. I didn't want to do this, but of course it's the classic, my friend told me to. But then I thought there are so many of them and stuff, I really don't want to spend the time doing that. But as she did open with, I don't make videos asking people for things, yet she's making them. And I did not look over her page because I just don't have time. But me suspects that when you have, and I'll get into it further as I talk about the video, but when you are able to make a 7-minute long video, and God bless her, I mean, she really held on there, okay, for 7 minutes, basically begging for money. And don't forget to put in the comments, family, should we put her as a candidate in the December 2025 drawing for the Beggar Hall of Fame, whereby the winner will get a $10 reward, and the viewers will vote on it. And as my gal pal Jamie was telling somebody in the audience yesterday, Jamie is correct. Okay, we'll be doing the vote through YouTube. Okay, the actual YouTube page. So throw in the comments, should we put her in? I know she's a newbie. I've never heard of her. Seems to be a very young single mom. Barely, to me, it looks like she's barely 20 years old. Okay. So if we should throw her in there, just throw it in the comments if we should or not. Okay. Me thinks that we should, I suspect, but I'd like to kind of get feedback from you guys. Because, this $10 award that I will be paying in December, just before Christmas, okay, it's a big deal. All right. So make sure you throw in the comments, should we include her in the potential candidate for the Beggar Hall of Fame? First ever on YouTube, from all that I know, right? So she's making a video asking for things, but keep in mind, she never makes videos asking for things. She says, this is the only help I'll be able to get. How often have we heard TikTok beggars go? There is nowhere else to turn to. There's nowhere else to go. The only thing I have to solve my predicament is social media. And how incredibly, dangerous is the wrong word, how incredibly unfortunate if the only way you can solve your problem is through social media. I think to myself, and as I watch all these begging videos, and let me tell you something, guys, there are so many begging videos. I have a queue, QUE, I think is how you spell it. I have a queue of more than, I think about 100 videos that are ready to go. I mean, I need to go through and edit and, edit, splice and all that stuff. But just, the videos that I can use on my channel that I like. That is how many begging videos there are. Are you telling me that all these TikTokers out there that are begging, you mean to tell me that the only solution to their problem is to go to social media? And I don't know about GoFundMe, but I really, really think GoFundMe is going to have to do something if they want to keep their GoFundMe from going down the rabbit hole of TikTok begging. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want the begging to stop. It's great fodder for this channel and other channels. So please let the begging continue. But if you look at something such as, with GoFundMe that used to be really reputable, what, if anything, is GoFundMe going to do to keep themselves from becoming the MySpace of yesterday? It used to be Facebook and then MySpace and all that. Because if they're not careful, GoFundMe is going to become just as trashy to some extent, and will be associated with TikTok beggars. Because I'm telling you, these TikTok beggars are like weeds. They are viruses. They will infect something that is pure, wholesome, and innocent. And before you know it, they got all their begging crap everywhere. So all these people are putting up GoFundMe, but I do wonder at times, is GoFundMe aware of it and if they're going to do anything about it? But I won't be surprised if they don't, because GoFundMe makes a certain percentage. So the TikTok beggars can put up their begging videos and they can get some money. GoFundMe gets paid. This could, begging can really, really test the moral, sort of the moral parameters that people have, not just individual people. They could potentially test companies as well. Okay. The company knows, like GoFundMe, hey, let the beggars on, because when people donate to GoFundMe takes a certain percentage. So it could be a real test on moral, moral corruption. She says here that she's behind 2 months on her rent. She owes $1,200. I think she said she paid it in January. I'm looking at my notes here. I think she said she paid it in January and she's already behind. There is something that I have learned, and I'm sure many of you who have been broke before have learned. When you have an income problem, as Dave Ramsey might say, okay, when you have an income problem, there is no amount of donation that is going to help you beyond just the immediate issue. And I know to a lot of these beggars, and someone like her, she thinks, if I can just get caught up with the 1,200. But the problem is that she really doesn't. I mean, yeah, she has a money problem, yes, but even bigger than the money problem is she has a freaking lifestyle problem. She chose to become a mom of 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a baby. Now, tough love here, but let's think about it. You're already broke, and you decided 9 months ago, and I guarantee you were already broke, because she said she worked really, really hard to get this apartment and all of that stuff. But you have a lifestyle problem, and that is you're producing kids that you can't afford. And congratulations to her. I guess she said she was going to go get her tubes tied. But something you begin to realize, especially with a lot of, young parents, and I'm going to point to young moms because they're usually the ones, strapped down with the kids, okay, again, through voluntary and involuntary means. But no donation is going to fix her problem. I sure I could give her $1,200. I'm sure lots of you can hand over $1,200. Is that going to solve the problem? Is that going to solve the problem that you have 3 people to feed on what it seems to be probably close to a minimum wage income? Is it going to solve the problem that even if I pay your $1,200 a month rent now, what are you going to do when the next month comes? And I can tell you a lot of people in the community in my chat area have pointed that out too, because we all see it. It's kind of like when I had to go bankrupt. All right. Not once, but twice in my 20s and 30s. Okay. Credit card and a poor car purchase. I've been there, guys. Okay. I've been there. And you begin to realize part of what leads people to bankruptcy is you realize that there's no out. Okay. There's just no out. And you can keep putting more money towards it. But your income to debt ratio is so upside down, you need to start over, which is why it's so dangerous when people get themselves into extreme student loan debt, because there is no starting over with student loan debt. Okay. And when I started over in my 20s with a bankruptcy, and it wasn't even that much money. It was like $25,000. But you have to keep in mind, that's okay, I'm 58 now. So you figure that was in my 20s. Okay. And my first job paid, I think, about $16,000 a year. My first professional job paid that. So I was so far upside down. There, you can't borrow your way out of credit cards with it. You can't borrow from friends and family with it. Okay. I had a lifestyle income problem. Okay. That's what I had. And it wasn't even a lifestyle problem. I was broke and driving a Datsun B210. Okay. It wasn't like I was living high on the hog. My first apartment had 2 bullet holes in the side glass. What is a porch light? So trust me, I wasn't living lavishly by any means. Okay. But she has a lifestyle choice problem that absolutely no donation is going to cure. And I think we see this over and over again in the begging TikToks, is that people are going, just give me money. And here's the sad part, is it doesn't matter how much money they want. It doesn't matter if they're asking $25,000 for a house. And yes, we have seen that, or $5,000, or give me $30 today. The problem is they've never learned how to actually create their own money to get themselves out of that situation. Now, before we all come chasing in the comments with the pitchforks, but if you do, don't forget to subscribe also, okay? I totally understand that my student loan for $110,000 was forgiven, okay? I didn't make enough money as a single school teacher trying to give the public the best educated teacher you could get, all right, with my master's degree and stuff. Didn't make enough money to pay off the bill. Served 16 years in middle school, all right? Now, I know there are people out there that totally disagree with that. Be it the case. Okay. As I've always have said, if most people had a choice between what type of teacher do you want one with a bachelor's, a master's, or a PhD, I rest my case. But unfortunately, teachers don't make enough to be able to pay that bill off. But that aside, I learned to solve my income problem by learning how to actually budget my money, by understanding that you can't have a functioning, healthy financial relationship if it's not going to just be his account, hers account, but also we don't ever discuss the accounts. There's nothing wrong with his, hers, and ours. My parents had that, and they were wonderful and happy for 30 years like that. Okay. But you still have to have a meeting of the minds. Okay. And what's happening is I see a lot in these beggars is the beggars have never learned how to provide for themselves. And again, I'm not talking under a public service loan forgiveness waiver of people who are putting over, 10, 15, 20 years in a job that most people don't want to do. So I don't equate those to be alike, but I can understand where somebody could look at me and say, well, you've never had to learn money. Clearly, I've had to. I haven't had a choice. All right. So the beggars, though, are going on and they're never learning to be self-sufficient. And I sometimes wonder, where is that coming from? Is it coming from home? I suspect part of it is, maybe not totally, but I think a lot of it is people, it's kind of like I said, begging is like weeds. Okay. One weed pops up, one beggar pops up, another weed goes, hey, you know what? That resting ground looks good. And then before you know it, you got all these weeds, just like before you know it, you got all these beggars, because they all think that going to social media somehow or another is going to hit them with a financial jackpot. But as I watch these videos, you guys, I sit to myself, I think to myself at times, this has got to be exhausting, begging constantly and thinking your only way out is to beg, but to never actually learn how to use your mind and your hands and all of that, to make a living. And I'm not talking about OF. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in a way, where you go to bed at night and you feel good about what you've done for the day, yada, yada. So I really, really think that this young lady going on there begging, saying there's nobody else who can possibly help her. Okay. That's a mindset. And that mindset was taught somewhere. She did say her mother passed away. And she said her father, I guess, what was it? She goes, doesn't want to help, which takes me to my next point. I have to respect parents who put the limits on it. I do. I have to respect a parent that says, you know what? You've chosen to have one kid, two kids. You've chosen decisions that I'm willing to suspect, okay, perhaps, don't know, okay, maybe her father does not agree with. She looks like she was a teen parent. Again, I could be wrong. Okay, it can be hard to tell people's ages. But what I do know for sure is she couldn't afford kid one, and she definitely couldn't afford kid two. She didn't learn her lesson from kid one, and by her own words, what is it? She says here. Hold on. She says that she tried to go to friends and family. Okay, she said her dad won't let her in. Her friends won't let her in, and she's basically on this alone. Well, that's because, and we all know it, that she's worn them all out. There it is. She goes, I've begged family and friends. No family members will pay anything or give me a place to stay. Entitlement at its absolute finest. If I have two kids and I can't afford them, and I go on, and I show up and I beg them to let me stay. My question is, how long do you want them to let you stay? Well, I want to stay till I get on my feet. But you see, there's a problem. This isn't, you've heard me say this. There's the temporary, oh, I'm stuck financially temporary. And then there's the long term, I've just made really bad decisions and I can't afford all these kids. She's in that, latter category of I've made really bad decisions with these kids I can't afford. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, or 10. She can't afford them, at least from what I can tell from her video. So she says here, and she says, in spite of begging, quote, and I wrote this down almost word for word, no family members will pay anything or give me a place to stay. You beggars out there, especially if you want the quickest road to poverty, have some kids you can't afford. Now, I don't care if you're the father paying 50% of your child support on your minimum wage job, and you're in arrears $20,000 or whatever, or if you're the mother, okay, begging on TikTok to try to get your, a roof over you and your kid's head. The fastest way to poverty, folks, it's no secret. Create a family that you absolutely cannot afford, and you don't have the skills. You don't have the verbal skills. You don't have the visual grooming. You don't articulate in such a way that people go, wow, you know what? I'd really like to hire you. And I'm not talking about trying to be some corporate mucky muck. I mean, I'm not, okay? I'm just a school teacher, all right? But you got to have skills. You have to have something that's marketable. You have to have something that people want to pay money for, skill, a talent, something. Okay. I don't care if it's owning your own car wash business and going out and cleaning cars in the parking lot of offices. But it's really entitlement when someone says no family members will pay anything or give me a place to stay. Why should they? They're not the ones who chose to have two kids they couldn't afford. They're not the ones who chose to have what I like to call high school degree challenged baby daddies. All right. The people that you have around you that did not make those decisions don't want you to pull all the crap in your life under their doorstep. The people around you that chose not to make those same decisions that you made, they have their own family that they perhaps most likely want to influence in a different way. Now, it's easy to look at her and think, oh, well, I'm willing to bet that the people that she hangs around are pretty much like her. Yeah, that's true. I would probably say that. But that's not for everybody. Just because you're poor, just because, maybe you don't have, super high levels of education doesn't mean that they don't understand what it is, parents in that category. That doesn't mean that their parents don't want the best for their kid. And I guarantee it to you, there are parents out there going, I don't want my family being influenced by someone like her. I'm not saying she's not deserving of good things and great, yada, yada. But to sit there and say that your family won't give you a place to stay and no family members will pay anything, they didn't ask to pay that. See, so when you become a parent, especially for you young ladies that think it's going to be the cool thing to do, and maybe he'll love you more, maybe he'll stick around more, I don't know, okay? And you think it's the cool thing to do to go and have these kids that you can't afford, and everybody's, taking pictures at the baby shower and you feel like you're the center of attention for maybe all of 9 months. Well, this is the reality after baby is popped out. See, when you have a kid with someone that was never interested in being a parent anyways. And don't give me these stories. Oh, well, we had protection, yada, yada. Well, so did all the other people that were responsible, how did they manage? How is it that the protection worked for them and they were able to manage and plan their families? But for a lot of the TikTok beggars, it seemed like every protection available didn't work. I don't believe protection works just simply for a certain income bracket. I guarantee it to you, her family is tired of paying for her. I guarantee it to you, her friends, they're like, we got our own family to take care of. Okay. And again, the law is about moving somebody underneath the roof. If you move her in, how are you going to get her out? And like I said, this is not a temporary problem. This is not like, oops, a one-time mistake. I wrecked the car and now I need to get into another car and I've learned my lesson. These lessons that this young lady is going through, 20 years minimum. All right. Moved in January, broke by July because she could never afford the place to begin with. Again, this is what bankruptcy has taught me. All right. You can float for a little while. You can fake it. Maybe you can even fake it for a long time, but there's going to come a point when you cannot fake being broke anymore. And for those of us who have been as broke as I have, we've done it all. Okay. Now I've never borrowed from family and friends. That's just something I just never did that. All right. I think maybe once I borrowed from my sister in my entire life ever. Our family wasn't really raised to intermingle money and stuff like that, which in many ways is probably a good thing because it's forced us to be responsible, but we would be there to help each other clearly if we absolutely needed it. Okay. But if you really get down to it, folks, the situation that she is sitting in, she sits there and she goes, I'm begging for help. I'm begging for help. But the one thing they don't ever do, they never seem to beg for a job. I can guarantee you that a lot of these beggars, if somebody pulled up, and said, hey, I saw you on TikTok. I will hire you at, let's just throw out a number, $40,000 a year. We're dreaming here, okay? I will hire you at $40,000 a year. Can you start tomorrow? The office is just across the street from where you live. I need you there at 8 a.m. I can pretty much guarantee to you that every single one, I'm going to say in the 90 percentile, I'm going to say, oh, heck, I'm going to go higher. 95 to 99 percentile would say no. Why? Because see, when they're sitting there and begging you and saying they really, really need help, what they're really telling you is they don't really want to help themselves. They want you to help them. That's what they ultimately want. They want you to be the long-term solution to their problem. And this is why a lot of times, and I've seen it in the comments too. People go, well, if you offered these beggars a job, would they take it? Of course they wouldn't take it. Because see, ultimately, it's not the job that they really, really want. What they really want is they want you to work on their behalf. And this beggar did the same emotional crap that the other beggars do. And I think she said something about if you have a heart, I think that was the word she used. If you have a heart, keep me and my children from living in a car. See, it's that emotional tug that they try to do. But I'm telling you guys, I've heard so much of these begging stuff. No, I don't have a heart. She says here she's tired of not being stable. Then why would you have a second kid? If you knew, because I'm sorry, she was unstable before the second kid came along. Is that moment of passion, or what I also like to say, that cheap Walmart cheese and cracker plate with Hormel ham slices served to you on that one Friday night date that you went on, and the passion that came as a result, was that really worth it? And she says, I'm tired of not being stable. Well, begging on TikTok to hope that the public is going to give you money will never make you stable. It's never going to happen. That stability has to come within you. She says here she works 6 days a week and she's saving tips to get into an apartment. Here's another problem. If you're having to work 6 days a week and you're trying to save to try to get into an apartment, you already can't afford that apartment. I will be honest. I think one of the neatest things, all right, about the financial lessons I've learned and the debt freedom that I now have, not rich by any means, and I have to save it just like everybody else, okay? But I am debt free, is the idea now that if I want something, I can pretty much just buy it. All right. If something's going to be a couple $1,000s, or, if I want to purchase something, it's a couple thousand. It usually just takes me maybe a month 2 at best, usually about a month to get it. Because again, I live on one teacher paycheck, so it leaves me plenty of buffer room. But I've also come to realize that when you can't afford something, I don't care if it's a residence or car, whatnot, if you're having to save money to get it, and then when you get it, you can't comfortably afford it, then you shouldn't buy it to begin with. Because I did this with my car too, saving to get a car. Okay, when I was broke and I had my car repossessed in my 30s, saving to get my car. Okay, great. Now that you've got the car, how are you going to afford it? I was talking to one lady. I decided not to put her video on my channel, but when I say talking, I'm talking TikTok, talk like, 2 sentences. And she's basically trying to, of course, like all the other beggars, she's trying to get money, okay, to get into a house. And my question was, and actually a few people had thrown this question out to her, and they said, okay, so you get your house, how are you going to pay for it? And her exact words were, well, I'm going to work 3 jobs, single mom, 3 jobs. And my thinking was, that's not a very good long-term plan on how to pay for a place to live, having to work 3 jobs. So my thinking is she needs to get a cheaper place to live. These TikTokers who think that going to social media somehow or another is going to be their long-term plan as to how they're going to turn their life around, get out of debt, pay their bills, live the life that they supposedly see everybody else living, no roof over their head, a car, and all of that stuff. And even the people who can afford their kids. Yeah, I understand. Kids, you got your momentary struggles here and there, but overall, you planned them, you can afford them, you're good to go. A lot of these TikTokers are looking at other people and going, I want that. The beggars are going, I want what these people have. But what the beggars fail to see, and if they do see it, they're in deep denial about it. And that is those people that are making it, that are doing the things with their life that they want to do, they never begged for it, ever. Instead, they found the solution in themselves.
Me and my fiance, we're in a bind. So we both have car payments and we're both upside down. So combined, our car payments are about $1,800 a month.
Golly!
And yeah, I know, it's stupid. I know.
Are y'all driving Lamborghinis? What do you drive? I'm curious.
No, just basic, a GMC Acadia and an F-150. And the F-150 is a 2015 and the Acadia is a 2021. Terrible interest rates.
Did you get these at like a sub? Did you buy them off a lot? It's like a handshake deal off a lot somewhere behind the lot?
No, car dealership. It was just the credit was so bad. So he had his truck before I got my car. My other car that was paid off, I loved it. It was just down in the dirt and the engine was smoking when I pulled into the dealership.
Okay, Sarah.
Hold on. I have to jump in. It is still Friday night, running late, but we're all here together, okay? $1,800 car payment. Now, this just ran 2 days ago, and I'm listening to it, of course, with you for the first time. The original video will be put in the description box. Okay. I love to put things in perspective. All right. $1,800. That is my entire cost of living each month. HOA, property taxes, car insurance. Okay. No condo payment. No car payment. Okay. Those are paid off. $500 generous amount for food. Okay. Let's say I have that. It's everything. $1,800 is my entire cost of living for the month. These 2 idiot callers, or this idiot caller and her, I don't know if it's husband, okay, have that just in car payments. What is it? It says here, I have $1,800 in car payments, 18% interest. Now, again, I am certainly no financial angel, but as I like to say, this call is about them. It's not about my financial history. But I will tell you, with the financial history I've had, many, many times I have looked back and I've gone, God, Carrie, how could you have done that? How could you have been so stupid? And also, it goes to show that just because you're with somebody, people think, oh, you're financially safer if you're with somebody. You know what? If you're with the wrong person, you'll be financially worse off. Because then instead of one idiot in the financial kitchen, you got 2 idiots in the financial kitchen.
I want you to separate these out. Tell me your car. How much is it worth?
Yep. I owe 32 on it still.
Okay.
My payment is $1,100 because we got behind, so we had to do this promise to pay thing. It was $815, but now it's bumped up to $1,100.
$1,100 for a car. Somebody play the music. Oh, $1,100. Okay. Now, again, we know it's bad with just one car at $1,100, but remember, they have $1,800 in car payments at 18% interest. Were there no adults when they were buying this? And you know, a lot of the reason I just shudder is because I think of the stupid stuff that I did and how I got my car repossessed when I was in my 30s, because I was dumb. I had a Sentra and I went, you know, this new Nissan Sentra. Man, you got to back it up years ago. Okay. Decades ago. Okay. This Nissan Sentra, and that's not good enough. I want the Nissan Maxima, and it's only an extra $100 a month to have the Maxima. But like an idiot, I didn't look at the whole bill. I didn't look at the maintenance, the repair costs. I was smart enough to look at insurance. I've always known you need to look at the insurance. So that part I got my camera straight. Okay. I've always known you need to look at the insurance, but holy cow. Okay. So let us continue on now that we're all on life support.
Okay.
The 2015 F-150, he still owes $20,000 on it, and his payment is right at $700.
Okay.
Okay. All right. 2015. You mean to tell me he owes $20,000 for a car that's a decade old? You see, people like to make fun of Crimson. Crimson is my 2024 Toyota Corolla hybrid. Okay. Oh, for those who don't know, if you want to know, you can always tell it's a hybrid Toyota because the Toyota logo has a soft blue tint around it instead of just saying, you know, the regular Toyota logo. That's silver. It'll be silver with a soft blue tint. That's how you know it's a hybrid. I really have to wonder, you know, what must have been going on in their life to get into this type of debt. But I say it's a combination of two things from what I can tell. Okay. Again, I'm hearing this for the first time with you. I only go based off the titles. It makes it more exciting that way. So two things that I think of is one, they were, like you said, they have bad credit and stuff. So they were just desperate for a vehicle. But the second, and the more important, it was buying through what they wanted, not what they needed. I could have picked up a Toyota Camry and could have had the sucker paid off in 3 years. Very reasonable. Toyota Camry paid off in 3 years. I chose to go with the Toyota Corolla and pay it off in 9 months. Why? Because I'm just at the point where I don't like debt. Now, again, I understand there are some things for debt that we have to take on. Okay. I get it. All right. So I'm not quite of the Ramsey mind that there can be no debt. I get it. But for me, it was really a question of, do I want to make a car payment for 3 years and tack on an extra about 15 grand to have the Camry, which it would have been about 42 or so versus the 26 Toyota Corolla brand new. And I just didn't want it. But a lot of the reason, and I suspect more so the reason they're in this financial debt, this was about getting what they wanted. This is kind of like, you know, and I'm sure we've all been guilty of it to some extent or another. You need to replace something. Okay, that's the need part. You actually need to replace it, but you want to replace it with this more expensive thing instead. See, that's what I've learned, you guys. I've learned sometimes you have to compromise a little bit. Okay, I'll give you an example because, you know, as they say, you know, this is the Chit Chat channel. Okay, I would really like to get some new furniture for my living room. I've had the same furniture for 15 years. There's really nothing wrong with it. Okay, but aesthetically, I would just like to get some new furniture. What I got is fine. It's leather, yada, yada, but it's kind of boring. It's not really my style. I had it when I was married and stuff. Okay. So I would like to replace it, but it's not a need yet. It's not. Okay. Even though my side of the sofa is getting a bit flat because I live alone and that's the only side that I sit on. Okay. It's not like I don't go switching around different sofa sides. I need that. But when I do go to replace it, I'm not going to go get some $10,000 lumbar improved, you know, comes with its own Wi-Fi couch. I'm going to get something that's intelligent. You see? And something I've learned is, you know, when you need to replace something, you don't That's not the time to go, hey, I'm going to look at my highest level want and I'm going to go buy it. That's what happened. I believe her. Yeah, fine. Your car's smoking, you're driving it to the dealership. Great. I guarantee it to you. She didn't need to, the thinking F-150, which is a great vehicle, but bad for them because they clearly can't afford it. And that looks like a gas guzzler. The F-150, that's got to be a couple $100 a month in gas if it's a push around the block.
How much do you make a year?
So combined, we
No,
make
don't
about
combine it. Don't combine it.
Don't combine
You.
Ooh, let's all take dibs. Okay. Everybody take dibs. How much do you think? She said, don't combine it. So how much does she make? I still can't tell if it's her husband or not. Let's see. I'll say she makes, they're in financial trouble. They got all this. I'm going to say she makes $50,000 a year. That's what I'll say. 50 grand. Everybody got their bets?
Me, myself, right around 55.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, that is a lot of debt. She makes less than I make by more than 10 grand, and that doesn't count YouTube. So yeah, that's a whole lot of car. Remember, $1,800 for car. That is my entire cost of living in a month. That is what I pay. Plus food.
How about him?
Ooh, okay. Let's say, I'm going to say he probably makes the same. So I say between them, they got $100,000 a year income. This is where it's not what you make, it's what you keep. I'll say he makes 50 also. You know, birds of a feather flock together.
He's about 52, 53.
Okay. What could you sell your car for?
Rachel, to the lovely Rachel, she ain't going to sell the car. And don't forget, family, okay? That F-150, I think it is, that's 10 years old and he owes 20 grand.
Today, what does Kelly Blue Book say?
I think it's like 17.
Have you looked?
No.
I have.
Okay.
It
And
was really
an
low.
individual, not dealer.
So not as an individual, I haven't.
Okay. So I would do that. So I would give it a couple of thousand more because you can usually get more from an individual. A dealer is going to buy it as close to wholesale as possible.
She's not going to sell it, Rachel.
So what was the number you said for the dealership?
17.
Okay. Let's just bump it up to 20 just for fun. Okay. How much could he
Isn't it great when you kind just play with imaginary numbers?
sell his for?
I think his is valued at like 8.
Wait a minute. He owes 20 grand. Oh.
From a dealer.
From an F-150, did he wreck it?
No, he did not wreck it. It's just
F-150s are made of gold
So
these
both
days.
of our cars have about 100,000 miles. His is about
Still, though,
150.
No, that's not. I almost guarantee you a 2015 F-150.
I'm gonna 12 to 15,000, or you think even more? They're expensive.
I like trucks, and they're so it's like cartoon
It's not
money.
8,000.
No, dude.
I thought that's what it said. So it's also a 2-wheel drive.
I mean, there's going to be a bunch of nuances here and there, knickknacks, and we don't have to go back and forth if it's an extended cab or a single, like all that stuff. I could almost guarantee you, I could be wrong, that it's worth more than 8 grand, unless it's been wrecked.
I'm a truck idiot, and I would think it's worth more than 8 grand. And I know nothing about trucks. Okay. And I would say an F-150, there's something they're hiding. Is this a married couple? I sure hope it is, because otherwise they're commingling all their money. This is when I need Jamie here to take notes for me.
In fact, it was underwater.
I will look into that.
Yes.
And private party too.
Yep.
Okay.
Even if there was somebody that owns a lawn crew that will roll up and give you 10 grand cash for it.
That's imaginary. You know, if you stand outside long enough in front of your house, somebody will roll up and give you some money. Guys, remember, it never works like that. Before they should be getting on TikTok begging for some car payment money.
I haven't seen a truck worth $8,000 in a long time.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll be a little bit more. And you're in Texas, you know. They like their
yeah.
They give you a
They
truck
parked
with your
everywhere.
birth certificate. Yeah.
Hi, Jamie in Texas.
I haven't dug too much into his.
Okay, so Sarah Colley. Okay, so man.
And don't forget 18% interest rate. 18%.
Okay, so for you, and I'm gonna separate the two because you guys aren't married yet. Once you're married,
Oh, they're not married. Okay, I missed that. No, it is getting to be the late night hour here. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be a late upload, you guys. Oh, they're not married. Oh, God.
Combine it all together and right off into the winds. But for you specifically, yes, getting rid of this car is huge because it's more than half of your annual take-home pay. You know what I mean? Or half of what you make.
Okay, doesn't that put it in perspective? Your freaking vehicle is half your take-home pay. That really puts it in perspective. And these two ding-dongs shouldn't get married because they're just gonna. They just shouldn't get married yet. They have no financial intelligence. I shouldn't have gotten married. I didn't have financial intelligence either. Okay. But I want you to think about that. Half your vehicle, and that's not counting maintenance. It's not counting insurance. It's not counting oil, lube, filter. I guess that is maintenance. Okay. Washing. It's not counting none of that. You're basically going to work every day to pay for that stinking vehicle. And I have not heard a reason yet as to why they needed these vehicles. Again, she went in with the car smoking and then said, hey, you know what? I want a nicer car than I can actually afford. This makes me grateful that I have learned my lessons, because I'm telling you this, the older you get, you cannot take the same financial hit lessons that you can take when you're younger. When you're younger, you recover from that stupid car payment. When you get older, and I'm 10 years to retirement, I start looking at things in a 10-year time span. Okay. You can't afford to make the same financial mistakes, not to this level. This is huge. 50% of the pay. Okay. I make 68 again without YouTube, because I never count my YouTube. Okay. So I make 68 is my base. Let's see. She makes 53, 54. So cut my income down by 53, 4, 5, 6. Hey, I counted my fingers. Okay. Cut my income down by almost 15 grand. Give me a ridiculous on her portion, $1,100 car payment. I'm broke. I am absolutely broke. And don't forget, for those of you newbies out there into car buying, you think, oh, well, I'll just take the car back and get another one. You're going to owe whatever they can't sell the car for. Now you get to tack that bill onto the new car, roll over, which is why so many people, for those who are new, okay, wind up with such ridiculously high car payments because they rolled over a car, either through stupidity, necessity, whatever. So you got to be careful about that. It's not just as simple. Otherwise, put my sorry tush in a Mercedes, and I'll just give it up when I can't afford it anymore. It's never that easy.
And so we have way too much car, which I know that's why you're calling, because you're feeling it.
Yeah, we both are. So all of our finances are combined. We have 4 kids together.
Okay.
Oh, tasty tea, family. Tasty tea. 4 kids. Oh, okay. Not married, 4 kids. Somebody bring back the TikTok beggars, because all of a sudden the TikTok beggars are looking responsible. That's when you know it's really bad, okay? When the TikTok beggars are looking good. Holy cow. Okay, 4 kids, $1,800 car payments. Okay, they got 2 of the dumbest parents ever. Okay, look. The parents are financial idiots. I'm not saying they're not good at their job. I'm not saying they're not even wonderful parents. They're financial idiots. Lots of us have been there. But I certainly wasn't there with 4 kids with some guy I'm not even married to. You know what these two have spent their life doing? These two have spent their life doing, I think Ramsey is called doing what feels good, literally and figuratively, okay? That's what they've spent their life doing. Oh, it feels good to copulate. Let's go ahead and have 4 kids. It feels good to go and buy more vehicle than we can possibly afford. See, these are 2 immature idiots that are going on what feels good at the moment without looking at the long-term consequences. Again, we're not here to talk about me and my errors, okay? But we're talking about them. And I'm sure many of us that listen to the Ramsey Show, we've been there in some way or another. God bless to those. There's a special seat in heaven for you, I'm sure, if you've never, taken yourself into the financial depths of hell like many of us have gone through. 4 kids to a guy you're not married. Just see, this is all voluntary. See, that is the greatest thing about learning how to manage money is I learned, hey, it is voluntary. I don't have to be in this financial situation. I don't have to take out so much student loan I can't pay it back. But then you go, but I can't afford to go to that school. Well, it's the choice you make. It's choice. I don't have to buy that expensive car. I don't have to buy that overpriced house. I don't even have to go out, eat Grubhub, Uber, and all that crap, which I've never done and I never will. I have seen too many videos where the drivers are eating the food or spitting in the liquid. It ain't happening, okay? Not that they probably don't do that at the restaurants too, but I digress, all right? You learn you don't have to do that. And that is the greatest gift, all right? The good Lord above has taught me as I finally became debt-free about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. That was the greatest gift, is you don't have to live like that. But the question becomes, can you stop yourself before you jump off that cliff into that financial pit? That's the question. Can you do it? And a lot of people, for whatever reason, okay, naivety, ignorance, or they already know about it, they just don't care. They figure the consequences won't be so great, whatever. You come to realize you don't have to do that. You don't have to buy that $500 coat you can't afford. You don't have to have that shopping spree weekend with the girls in Las Vegas that you charged up on your credit card. These are all choices. And I think if somebody said to me, what is the greatest thing that I have learned about money? It's not even how to spend money, okay? And I shouldn't mean spend it. It's not how to budget it. Believe it or not, that's not the greatest thing. The greatest thing I've learned is it really is in my control to not have to go there. And again, you notice these aren't about medical bills. That's different, okay? People have been laid off. They might have to dip into their savings account. That's different. We're not talking about those things that are above and beyond your control. Job layoffs, medical stuff. We're not talking about that, okay? Or even, having to take care of a sick relative. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about our everyday stupid decisions that we make about how much car, how much gas, how much car, how much house, how much food, and all that stuff we're going to buy. That's what I'm talking about. And so something I've learned is, even when life's hiccups come, all right, life's hiccups do come to a great extent. I think more than we even realize, if we have lived under our means, we will be able to deal with life's hiccups and have it make not so big of an impact, not so much of a disruption to our life. You see? But instead, we get greedy. We want it all. And then when life's hiccups come, we're on the Ramsey show and I'm doing commentary. All right. Going, I can't afford any of this. $1,800 a month in a car, 50% for her car only of her income. This is all a choice. And I think one of the best things, I know it is the greatest thing, the greatest gift that I have learned is you don't have to do that. You don't have to go there, but it's a choice if you do. You don't have to have kids that you can't afford. Again, I'm not talking about people, you had kids that you could afford, all was great. And then, someone got sick and there's a big medical bill. Well, let's put those life things aside. That's not what I'm talking about. It's, I'm 19 years old and the physical pleasures feel really good. And I got 4 different baby daddies by the time I'm 21. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Those decisions. And it's hard for us to believe it, but they really are in our control. More of our financial hiccups, we have more financial control than we like to give ourselves credit for. We really do. And I think part of the reason we don't want to see it as in our control is then we don't have to take ownership. We don't have to be responsible for it. If I can say, look, I really needed this 2015 F-150. I had to have it. Let's just throw it out there. Let's say, okay, great. He had to have it for his job. I don't know. Okay. But let's just throw it out there and say, yeah, he had to have it for his job. Did you really have to have an F-150? I'm willing to bet not. You see, the first line of defense in protecting our money is us. That is the first line of defense.
Okay.
Dude, just hang on the line. We're going to hold you over because I want to unpack this one.
Yeah, and we'll walk through some of this math with you.
We're going to go to a break, but
All right, we're going to skip right over the bank. Let's see if they skip
We'll be right
over it.
back.
Hold on.
All right, welcome back. We have Sarah on the
nice.
line from the last segment. She was calling in because their car payments and car.
She's calling in because she shacked up with some guy. They have 4 kids, $1,800 in car payments. One of the payments is taking 50% of her income. They're a 6-figure-a-year couple, but can't get it together. Have I got it right? Where's my applause button? Dang, I should have had my applause button. I thought that was pretty good. I think this is why the Ramsey Show may not consider hiring me.
Car loans, they are feeling it. So she owes $32,000 on hers with $1,100 going out every month in a payment, and her husband owes $20,000, or I'm sorry, her fiance owes $20,000 on his. He makes 52, she makes 55, and just kind of trying to figure out the math here to get them out of these payments. Does that sound right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, we got that. Thank you to the lovely Rachel. Okay, let's put this car payment. Okay, she makes $55,000 a year. She's got $32,000 remaining in her car. Okay, that's remaining. So I like to give you perspective. Okay, I made in the 60s. I've only had my car a year and a half. Okay, so I make in the 60s, and my car was $26,000 Corolla paid off in 9 months. You see? And so when people sit there and they go, I don't understand how come I'm so broke over a car. Okay. It's because you bought too much car. What is it that they say about handbags? And I've read this. Okay. I've read it, seen it, whatever. Actually, I don't read that much. I probably saw it on TV somewhere. Okay. But they were talking about like Louis Vuitton and Coach, all these name brand things for the everyday people. And they're saying that name brand stuff like that is really for the broke ass folks. That's who name brand stuff is. Because the super wealthy, yeah, they also buy really expensive stuff, but not the stuff that the poor folk buy and we think we all rich. Okay. Oh man, I got this bag at Louis Vuitton, the Louis Vuitton store, and I paid $400 for it. The rich people are looking at you like, okay, whatever. And, I started thinking about it. And the more I thought about it, I went, that is true to some extent. How many broke ass folk, they put all their money, all the last change they have to go buy that bag at the mall that they can't afford, the shoes they can't afford, the dress that they really want, that vacation they want to go on, but they really can't afford it. That's because those sorts of luxuries are for the broke ass people. And I started thinking about that. They didn't put it quite like that in the show, but that's just the way I put it. Okay. I started thinking about it. I went, you know what? It's true. And here's the interesting part. Okay. I not just make more money than I ever have. Not that that's a whole lot, but it work with me here. Okay. Compared to being a broke. All right. And yet I spend less than I've ever spent. And I'm less, I don't care about the name brands. You see and it's not because, well, I've been broke before and I'm just, scared to spend money. No, I mean, like, I just don't value it. It's almost like I see the light. I see that the broke ass people are the ones, like I said, going to the mall after they've saved all their waitressing, bartending, school teaching, whatever, money. Let's just put it away. It's money they don't have, regardless of the profession, okay? It's money that they don't have to spend. They can't just fritter that away without it costing them something else. You see? And when I came to realize that, I'm like, oh my goodness, you know what? I really just don't give a crap. I mean, who hasn't in my income bracket, okay, in my financial history, hasn't walked by Louis Vuitton? We're sitting there licking our lips, looking in the window going, man, I'd really like to have that. But what I really have come to realize as I've gotten older is it that I really want that? Is that really what I want? Or am I just missing the idea that, hey, I could afford something and not have to work and struggle and save so hard to buy it. You see? And now that I can actually afford it, okay, if I want that $1,000 Louis Vuitton bag, I could actually afford it. Okay. I wouldn't have to save for it anymore. Okay. Guess what? I don't want it. It's almost like you're licking your chops at something that you can't have. And then when you can have it, it's like, It's like, I've always wondered, do the rich ever get tired of shopping? They have to. That's why they all go into politics, because you can only buy so many shoes, handbags, yachts, and boats. And after a while, it's like, okay, I'm bored. Might as well chase after power.
Right, Sarah, so far?
Yes.
Okay. And are both of your credits shot? Because
Yes.
you mentioned that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are.
Yeah. To the lovely Rachel, when you got 18% interest, you can pretty much bet your credit shot. Oh, I checked my credit score. And it's the highest that it's ever been, 838. Where is my applause button when I need it? Okay. I checked it about 2 days ago, 838. Okay. I think it's important that I practice what I preach. It's very important. I'd stick it on the community page, but I'm not really known for lying. So 838 is what it was.
Yeah, so we have completely stopped paying on the credit cards because even the minimums is like, oh, okay, well, we're not going to pay our rent. So we rent right now for $2,000, then daycare $700. It's everywhere.
Okay. Oh my, and their parents. You see, kids, you can't pick your parents. Sometimes you get the Tik Tok beggar, and sometimes you get this couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your rent is $2,000. How much do you guys? I mean, you're running your household as if you're married. So I'm going to ask this: how much hits you?
Pretty much do.
How much?
Yeah.
How much hits your checking account every month after taxes, after insurance, everything?
I would say right about 8,000.
8,000 for both of you.
And that's a good income for two people. Okay, that's a great income for two people, but not with lousy credit, 18% rate, sent car interest, and buying too much car.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's Then the $2,000 rent, that's in line with it for being about a fourth of your take home pay because that's what we're wanting, shooting for. So that's not completely out of control. But then again, you add in these car payments and everything else on top of it. It's a lot. So
yeah.
It's not a lot. It's astronomically ridiculous. That's what it is.
Have you guys gone down to maybe a local credit union or a local bank?
Ain't nobody gonna loan them anything. I guarantee it to you. Ain't nobody going to loan them. They are so freaking top heavy in debt. Remember, folks, we got to remember credit unions aren't a free for all. All right. They're not. I guarantee it. Bank of America ain't going to give them crap. I know that for sure. But people seem to think that nothing against the lovely Rachel. Okay. But people sometimes, I think that the credit union is going to be the saving grace. The credit unions are looking out for their pocketbook as much as anyone else. And you come walking in here and then you're not married. You got 4 kids. I would be like, stay away. Oh my goodness.
And talk through a loan process because the ideal situation, again, your credit's shot, so it may not work.
They will not refinance.
But no, not a refinance, just to get a personal loan. And
no, credit union ain't going to do it. Too top heavy in debt.
I would get a $25,000 loan for you
and pay off the difference.
Pay off the difference of 20. Go get a $5,000 crappy car for just the time being, and your husband, do the same.
It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. And these 2 idiots, anyways, you give them a $25,000 loan. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go on a long vacay, and then they're going to still be in the same situation they were in, but worse. See, people like this, they haven't fallen far enough yet. They need to fall farther. The further or farther. They need to fall further. Far is distance. That's the way to remember further versus farther. Okay, I will not discuss this further. Oh, the road is 3 miles farther from the house. Hey, that's the English part of me, okay? But even sometimes the English teacher me, sometimes I even have to think about it, okay? These people are not going to do that. And I guarantee it to, I will bet you a Thornton's Pepsi, they will not get a loan from anybody. Too much income to debt. You tell me what bank is going to look at any bank, credit union or not, the Church of Heaven credit union. And yeah, I see you're spending 50% of your income on a freaking car. Let me give you a $25,000 loan. They don't understand money. What they need to do is they need to go to Financial Pace University, get a complimentary membership from the Ramsey show. I wonder if they'll give them one.
If he's able to, because honestly, what John was saying about trucks, I'm praying he can get more, but he may only need like a $6,000 loan to get it paid off, to get the difference if he can sell it.
He ain't gonna downsize. You know how come we know we ain't gonna downsize? Cause they got $1,800 in payments. If you were gonna downsize, you would have done it by now. Oh, the passion.
And it's not a refi. It's just we're paying this thing off. We're done with it.
Yeah. But I would rather have a $20,000 loan than a $32,000, right?
I think I would just rather have different parents.
I don't do this. I don't make videos asking people for nothing. I don't like feeling like I'm begging anybody for anything. But at this point, honestly, I need the help. And I feel like this may be the only help I can honestly get. I am currently behind on my rent by 2 months. I owe almost $1,200. I paid the vast majority of May and still owe. I owe for all of June, and now I'm going to owe for all of July. I came home to eviction notice on my door saying that I have to go to court July 23rd at 9 o'clock, eviction court. I have nowhere to go. It's me, my 4-year-old, and my 3-month-old. I don't want to have to sleep in a car. I'm tired of not being able to be stable. I worked hard to get into my apartment. I was pregnant, big pregnant, working 6 days a week, saving tips every day for a month and a half to get into this apartment. I fell on hard times after I had my baby, and times has got even harder. I am now at almost $1,200 in rent, no money. I'm out of work until next week. I just had surgery, getting my tubes removed, so I can't go back to work until I'm cleared by the doctor. Me going back to work on the 15th, have to go to court on the 23rd. I'm not gonna come up with $1,200 to not get evicted. I need help, y'all. And I was told I may be able to get help. I may not be able to get help. But I'm praying that I am able to get help, because I don't want to lose my apartment. I don't have nowhere for us to go. I don't want to have to sleep in a car. And me being out of work until the 15th, I can't pay for no hotel room every week. Yeah, I barely make $100 a week to pay for a room every week. I'm trying to find a new job. I'm in the process of trying to find a new job, which is going to be my main job. And I'm still going to keep my server job as my second job. I have to have 2 incomes coming in. That's the only way I'm going to be able to stay on top. I need help. Please, anybody, help me. I have proof of whatever you need. I don't mind sending it. I don't even mind sending you my number if you want to talk to make sure that I'm not a scam, anything of that nature. I am literally begging for help. Please, anybody, please, if this touches you, if you see this and you want to help, please help me, please, because I don't know what to do at this point. With me having to see this eviction notice on my door, and I'm like, the 23rd is around the corner. Today's the 8th. I'm out of work until the 15th. That's another 7 days, another week I'm out of work. What am I supposed to do? I'm already begging for diapers, because she done ran through almost everything in the past 3 months. Like, I don't like this. I don't. And I honestly don't know what else to do at this point but to beg for help from whoever has listening ears and an open heart, willing to help a single mother out. Please, please. That's all I can do is ask for help. That's it. I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't have no family that's willing to help me, pay anything, give me a place to stay, any of that nature. I don't have no friends that I can go stay with. I don't have nobody. It's literally me. Just me. Me and my kids. My kids is all I got. I'm all they got. I'm all I got at this point. I've begged family. I've begged friends. I had one friend to help me, and that was with my May rent. And she didn't have to do that, but I appreciate her for that. But other than that, I have no help. I have nobody I can call. My mama's dead. My daddy not gonna help me pay my rent. Like, I don't know, y'all. I have nowhere to go. And if I lose this apartment, we literally gonna be sleeping in my car. And I have a 9-to-5 Honda, so we literally gonna be packed in my car, sleeping in the apartment parking lot from what it seemed like. I'm gonna lose all my skin. I just don't know. I don't understand. I really tried. I'm really trying. I am. And I try to go to this class, try to get my rent paid. Every week is something. They're not open for me to even try to participate in the class, to try to get my rent paid. I know tomorrow they're not going to be open because it's pouring down raining. So there's another week that I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait again to next Tuesday. I don't know. I don't. And I'm so confused. And I'm so hurt. And I'm so lost because I worked so hard to get in this apartment. And I've only been in here since January. And here it is July. And I'm already finna get put out. Like, I don't know what to do. But I am going to put my Cash App, my PayPal, hell, even my GoFundMe in the description of this video so I can receive some type of help. And whoever helps, I appreciate you. I thank you so much. Because I'm literally over here stressing, losing my mind because I don't know what to do. I want y'all to see that I'm not lying. You got my eviction paperwork. I want y'all to see my address. But yes, I'm not lying at all. I said I owe almost $1,200. I owe literally $3 off from $1,200. I just wanted to show y'all this to let y'all know that I'm not lying at all. I'm not trying to scam nobody. I'm literally just trying to receive some help.